Well, I'm right before the Sinn headquarters, and I'm very pleased to see the novelties which should have been presented to the Baselword 2020, and I'm totally excited and curious what I'm going to see. And now directly to the watch presentation and the novelties. All the novelties in 2020 which should have been presented at the Baselword of Sinn follow the same headline: realization of customer wishes. Either let it be the smaller versions of existing models or the red second-hand introduced into a standard model. Here we have the 1739, a 39mm version of an existing watch. It's a really elegant watch, and with the 39mm it perfectly fits under a sleeve, and it's a really nice office watch with a look-through case back. The trumpet-formed hands and the indices don't touch the inner ring, they are just attached to the outer ring and kind of hover over the inner ring. Absolutely nicely done, and I hope you can see it in a later video point or in another watch. Absolutely great watch, perfect dresser, and with 39mm compared to 42, absolutely great size. By the way, here you can see on my hands why I use gloves in other videos. On my wrist, which is a 17 centimeter or 6 3/4 inch wrist, it perfectly fits, and I like it a lot. The trumpet-formed hands and indices is something I haven't seen before. I don't know whether it's a USP for Sinn, but it's definitely not so often, and I like it a lot. So here you can see the hands, which get thicker towards the end, and so do the indices. Absolutely nicely done. By the way, the Sinn logo is applied as well, so it's not printed. And here we have the 1739 STIAN with the golden hands and golden indices. Again, 39mm in diameter, sapphire glass, push-pull crown, and look-through case back with a nicely decorated movement. This watch too has the trumpet-formed hands and indices, although it is not so obvious as it is on the silver and black version, but it follows the same design idea with the indices which hover over the inner ring, so it's a step dial. Nicely done, and something you can only see at the second look, and it's not immediately obvious, but really nicely done. On the wrist, that's a perfect, elegant watch. So for any formal meeting, formal appointment, absolutely great. And the sunburst dial adds another really nice effect. Here we've got the 1739 Heimat. The original model, which is the 42mm model, has been introduced a couple of months ago. Was it last year or the year before? And 42 was too big for my personal feeling, and the 39mm here are a perfect fit on the wrist. It's not exactly my style, but the dial is so nicely made with the pattern on the dial, which changes depending on light conditions. Absolutely nice. And the dial, by the way, is rhodium or rhodium plated. Not quite sure whether it's full rhodium or rhodium plated. And totally nicely done, and really great effects. As I said, it's not absolutely my style, but from the quality of manufacturing and the idea, I really do like it, and it's a nice watch. It's a really nice watch if you like the basic design. Compared, and here I got the first one, the bigger brother, to put it this way, with the 42mm. You see it's a significant difference, and if you recall the 39 on my wrist, 42 would be definitely too much on smaller wrists. So I appreciate that they followed the customer's requirements and requests to add smaller versions to the bigger original ones. Absolutely appreciate that. Well, here we've got the 556i and A. Both have been available as customized versions with red secondhands, and now the red secondhand is introduced into the standard portfolio as RS for red secondhand. The Chronissimo, which I do love in most cases, doesn't fit here from my point of view. It's too much for the watch. I don't like it. And here we've got the I model with the steel bracelet and the red secondhand. The biggest surprise for me was the U50. Well, actually, U50 is not for under 50 years or under 50 pound overweight. It is for U-boat steel, and 50 for 50 bar, equaling 500 meter of water resistance. So even if it's a smaller, thinner and lighter version of the U1, it's a full functional diver's watch which meets all specifications and requirements of a diver's watch. Absolutely nicely done. And what I really do appreciate is that Sinn released all three versions. The standard one with the steel bracelet, the SDR with the black with the steel bezel, the SDR with the black bezel, and the full black version. All three at the same time, no need to wait. Price-wise, you may discuss it or you accept it. It's not an extremely cheap watch, but it's an extremely nice watch. On the wrist, it feels so comfy. It's an absolutely nice and comfortable watch on the wrist. My first impression was when I picked up the watch, gosh, is that light? It doesn't weigh anything. When I took the videos, and you can see that this a bit later on, I had my U1 on the wrist, and it's a deep dive waterproof diver tank. It's a beast, and that's a 41 millimeter civil version of a beast. That's a sapphire crystal. It has the tegimented bezel and slight difference in the color between the bezel and the bracelet. And what is really amazing, it is just about 11 millimeter thick, which is as thick as the 556. So it's definitely not a thick watch with 11 millimeter, very comfortable to wear, absolutely nicely on the wrist. If I hadn't gotten used to my U1 and I like the heavy weight feeling of my U1, I'm absolutely sure I would have fell in love with the U50 immediately. But changing from the U1 to the U50, my first thought was, oh, there's something missing. Something missing in terms of thickness, weight, head heaviness, you name it. So here you can see the difference. The bezel is not as thick as with the U1. It's a 20 versus a 22 millimeter lug width. You can see the back is not as rounded, not as thick. The side is not as thick. The bezel is a little bit slimmer. So it's more elegant, if you want to talk about elegant with a watch with this design. It's smaller. It's a perfect match for smaller wrists or ladies who want to have a diver's watch. Here you can see the difference from the top. Let me put it down and let me try to move the camera a little bit and see if I can get another aspect which I haven't had before. So let's put it here and slightly move the camera, and let's see. You can see the U1 is thicker in all specifications, and the U50 is compared to the U1 nearly a tiny watch, although 41 millimeter is not a tiny watch. It's a standard sized watch, and 41 is around my sweet spot, to be honest. But the U1 is a completely different topic. And here you got the U50 with the 41 millimeter on my wrist, 17 centimeter, 6 3/4 of an inch. You see it's not that thick, not that high. Really, really nicely watch, which will fit under a sleeve or a hoodie, whatever you have. So absolutely nicely done. It's not a summer watch. You can wear it even in cold conditions. So let's compare it to the U1 on the wrist then. So here we got the U1 towards my fingers and the U50. It's a huge difference. Well, the position on the arm makes a difference, I've heard, so I changed the position, put the U1 to the thicker part of the arm and the U50 at the top, and make another comparison. So the U50 is smaller, slimmer, lighter, absolutely great watch, and it feels so comfortable on the arm. However, the U1 is an iconic watch, and I don't want to miss my U1, and I don't think I get a U50 in addition, but if there hadn't been a U1, the U50 would have definitely been my choice. Yeah, that's the U50. I do like it and hope so. It was a really great event, and I've seen many surprises. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share my videos, and look forward to the videos to come. Until then, cheers, Axel.